Would you believe me if I told you that Cyberpunk got hacked? Or at least the devs potentially had the source code get stolen. Now on ESPN 30 for 30.
The irony. Hey, happy Lunar New Year.
The year of the ox, I believe?
Yes, the year of the ox.
We are cultured.
Let's not get crazy. Hey, this is the Gamers 2 podcast, your weekly roundup of news and commentary in the video game industry and anything else that might pique our interest. By the way, it's February 12th.
2021.
2021.
And
the 2000s can drink now.
And you all thought last year was bad. Yeah, I say we're gonna move through this episode. We're not gonna rush through anything. But a lot of this I don't really have. We'll tangent, I'm sure. But this is just a preface of I don't have like a lot of crazy opinions on anything that really happened this week.
It's very like
it's just like here it is.
There's news.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's really it. So let's just start it off with new releases. Doors of Insanity for the PC. The Outer Worlds Peril on Gorgon DLC finally made its way to the Switch. Death Crown came out for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Little Nightmares 2 came out for PC, PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch. Summer Catchers came out for the Switch. Galgun returns for the PC, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and the Switch. Rover Wars for the Xbox One, and Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury for the Switch. A lot of Switch.
Switching it up.
Hey, but
How you feeling? Odds, evens? Do you have a preference?
I'll take evens. I don't even know.
That sounds good. Number 1.
Good choice. I like what you're doing. All right.
Andrew Spinks.
I like the name.
I do too. The co-creator of Terraria.
First one.
Announced that his studio would no longer be working on a Google Stadia port of the game. The reason, his studio, Relogic, has been locked out of its associated Google and YouTube accounts for over 3 weeks, without any explanation and with little recourse, from the company. Spinks tweeted that he had, quote, not done anything to violate your terms of service, so I can take this no other way than you deciding to burn this bridge, end quote. In the thread, Spinks says the lockout has cost him access to, quote, thousands of dollars of apps, end quote, he purchased, and his Gmail account, which he used for more than 15 years, is gone too.
Welcome to the first follow-up story of the week, where we wonder what happens next week, if anything.
Going by past Google...
Nothing.
We will never know.
Yeah. It's a weird...
It is a weird one, considering they're not developing, but they're bringing a game to your platform, and you're just like, fuck those guys.
Yeah, or whatever the reason is for fuck those guys, or whatever happened to entirely just strip somebody of their account.
Originally, I thought, I don't really care too much. I played Terraria for 2 seconds.
Me too. I never got into Terraria the way people have, but people that are into Terraria are fucking into Terraria.
Yeah, it's like a cult version of Minecraft.
Yes.
I was like, oh, he's clearly just flying off the handle, and then it's like, oh, this has been an ongoing thing for 3 weeks, and he's been trying to solve it. Yeah. And I'm sure this is just where he's just like, fuck it.
Yeah. The 3-week breaking point of I've been at the same problem, and now I'm done. Number 2. The Electronic Entertainment Expo is planning to return this year, albeit in a digital-only format, according to a VGC report. The outlet cites pitch documents sent to a number of publishers proposing a digital-only format for this year's event instead of the usual event at the Los Angeles Convention Center. The proposal for Digital E3 2021 specifies a 3-day event during the previously announced June 15th to 17th span, with multiple 2-hour keynote presentations and an assortment of smaller streams from game makers and media partners. Not surprising.
No.
It was one of those where, okay, in optimistic sight, we hope to be able to do this physically. In reality sight, I don't think there was ever a way they were going to be able to do it this year.
I think the pandemic may be accelerating the death of E3.
Yeah.
So, like, why participate in E3 when you could just do a digital event yourself and have the whole news cycle committed to just you?
Yeah, part of what everybody saw happen last year.
Mm-hmm.
When E3 is like, we're not doing anything, we're not doing our thing, and they're like, well, we're just going to do streams and rake it then. And they're like, no.
Yeah.
So here they are, floundering. Like a fish out of water, just... Yeah, I can't make that noise.
It's almost, you're getting real close to crab with lightning bolts coming out of their eyes.
The best part about that joke is I know exactly what you mean, but every time we do the crab noises and the lightning bolts and the loafers and everything, nobody else knows
Everyone's
what the
just like,
hell we're talking
fuck
about.
Is wrong with these people?
It's a crab wearing loafers with lightning bolts out of its eyes. That was interesting.
No, I don't know what's going on.
Your body is trying to kill you.
It really is. And I'm like having like cotton mouth for some reason. I don't know what that's all about, but
it's probably about the heavy ass dinner we ate. It's mixed with coffee.
Yeah. The heartburn I'm gonna have on the way
hot
home.
Coffee also.
Yeah.
I noticed you weren't going iced coffee.
No, it was just more convenient. Didn't have to stop somewhere. Just
right.
Made it when I got home. Drank a cup at home. Filled that thermos.
And then drank another thermos full.
Yeah, which is like 2 or 3 cups.
You're going to be so cotton-mouthed on the way home. Just rolling down the window in the middle of a freezing thing. Just... Sorry for that sound. I know that's going to upset somebody, but sorry.
Right in your eardrums.
Yeah, right in your eardrums if you listen to somebody hawk a loogie out a car window.
Number 4. CD.
No.
We're on 3?
Yes.
3. Number 3. Electronic Arts announced it has reached an agreement to acquire Glue Mobile for $2.1 billion in enterprise value, whatever that means. EA has said it expects the deal to grow underlying profitability in its first year, adding more than 15 Glue live services that combine to bring in $544 million over the last year.
Oh, God, no.
All right, so Glue brought in $544 million in their live services. Listen to their games that they make.
Oh, this is the best part about this.
Covet Fashion, Deer Hunter. That's a random one.
Oh, right up the same alley.
Design Home, Diner Dash, Disney Sorcerer's Arena, MLB Tap Sports Baseball.
I've actually played that one.
And Kim Kardashian Hollywood.
There's the big one. Unreal.
I can't believe they paid. I mean, I get it. It's just, I'm still not in the mobile thing.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to fathom that EA paid $2.1 billion for that.
For a mobile company.
Yeah. I'm so out of the loop in that regard.
Add to their bottom line and just keep going.
It's crazy.
I really don't have anything other to say. Just because it's
EA. It's just EA.
Well, it's EA doing its thing, but it's like I didn't know Glue Mobile before that. I knew some of the games, but I didn't know the conglomerate or whatever.
Yeah, I've never heard of them until
and I saw the news headline pop up. It's like EA buys Glue Mobile, and I went, "Who the hell is Glue Mobile?" And then I saw for $2.1 billion. I went, "Who the fuck is Glue Mobile?" And then I saw Kim Kardashian Hollywood. And I went, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense." Number 4, CD Projekt Red was the victim of a ransomware attack during which an unidentified actor, welcome to the cyber terms, an unidentified actor, stole data from the studio's internal network. The Cyberpunk 2077 developer disclosed the incident on Twitter, saying that, quote, some of its internal systems have been compromised, end quote. It also shared the ransom note from the hacker, who claims to have stolen the source codes for Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher 3, Gwent, and the unreleased version of Witcher 3. The message said, quote, we have also dumped all of your documents relating to accounting, administration, legal, HR, and investor relations, and more. If we will not come to an agreement, then your source codes will be sold or leaked online, and your documents will be sent to our contacts in gaming journalism, end quote.
I really wish we had a soundboard set up so that we could do the distorted voice that is in like every movie.
Hold on, let me see if I
don't
can.
know if you could.
We have also dumped all your documents relating to accounting, administration, legal, HR, and investor claims.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, it's just get me the Guy Fawkes mask and I'll just read that all over again.
Exactly.
I wish people left better notes when they do this stuff. Like, this note is written so terribly because I read the note from the tweet. And I was like, oh, come on, guys. What are you, 12-year-olds with Notepad? Come on. Anyway.
I mean, they might be. You never know.
That's true. At this point, they might as well be. Where's the part? The hacker added that they encrypted CD Projekt Red's servers, but the studio confirmed that its backups remained intact and that it has, quote, already secured its IT infrastructure and begun restoring the data, end quote. The personal data of CD Projekt Red players has not been compromised, but the studio is still investigating the attack. A couple follow-up notes here. The hackers posted the source code for the card game Gwent and have started auctioning off the source code for The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077. The starting bid is $1 million with a minimum offer increase of $500,000 or the option to purchase immediately for $7 million. Update as of today, Friday, cyber intelligence firm Kella shared an image from the forums where the group claims to have accepted an offer for the compromised data. I believe the offer also came from outside the bidding site.
So it's just an external offer that someone's like, here. So I'm assuming it would be more than $7 million or close to it.
Probably close to it. Or they once again set $7 million as like we know we're probably not going to reach this, so somebody probably just, I'll give you just 5 straight up right now and just be done with it. All depends on how much they actually valued what they had. If they actually have anything that's like damning in any way. I read it and I was like, oh, whatever.
I'm just thinking of who bought it. I want to.
You want to go down like the...
My tinfoil hat is that it was EA, and they're just like hiding the money transfer in the glue purchase.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. They're like, oh, $7 million. We'll just position a $2.1 billion move that also does this.
Yeah,
like a shadow play.
And then they'll give it to BioWare and be like, do something, copy this homework.
Yeah. Oh man.
Slap a mass relay on it and it'll be
Speaking
fine.
of BioWare, Anthem's probably dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was another
Almost officially.
Yep.
Because this is about the time we should have been hearing about it again. And
yeah, there was rumors that EA was considering canceling it.
Yeah, I don't think it survives the rest of the month. I don't think it sees March, but we'll see.
It's unfortunate. I really like the flight, like the idea of it. But the execution obviously was terrible.
Their base was a good start, but they did what they never should have done, which is the same thing we always say, is they showed a bunch of things in a trailer that then the game came out not that much longer after, and everybody went, oh, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Also, I can't stop looking at your hoodie. Yeah. Every time I just kind of glance away for a second, I catch it out of the corner of my eyes. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I for whatever reason, I have the tendency to wear it when we go grocery shopping.
Oh, there you go. So,
And like, I'm always like I'm like, why are people staring at me? Like, I always get the old people, obviously, the older folks who are not cool with it. And they like stare at me.
Down with it.
And I'm just like, why is this person staring at me? And then I'm like, oh, wait.
This thing. I gotcha.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll see what comes of it. Another just stab at the side of CD Projekt Red since December 11th, who has just had a shit show since.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen. He'll be fine.
And then kicked when they're down.
Yeah.
Because this is like, oh, they're falling. Make them fall faster.
Get them.
The equivalent of you see like somebody getting Sparta kicked into the pit, but then somebody also taking a stick because they weren't falling fast enough and being just like hitting them further down. Like, get away.
Get down there. Number 5. I should have made this 6. So it would be like 6 days in Fallujah. Number 5, 6 Days in Fallujah, a controversial third-person shooter set during the Iraq War, is back in development over a decade after being canceled. Originally announced in 2009 for PC, PS3, and Xbox 360, 6 Days in Fallujah is a tactical shooter set during the Second Battle of Fallujah. The game's original developer, a now defunct studio called Atomic Games, said it was working with U.S. soldiers in order to create a more authentic experience. Following the initial announcement, several groups spoke out criticizing the game's concept. The negative reception eventually led Konami, the original publisher, to announce it would no longer publish it. The new developer is Highwire Games, a company co-founded by 3 people, most notably Jamie Grzemer, yeah, that's what I'm going with, and Marty O'Donnell. Grzemer previously served as a game designer at Bungie and Sucker Punch Productions, working on the Halo and Infamous franchises. O'Donnell also worked at Bungie and is known for co-composing music for several Halo titles and the first Destiny game. Highwire Games announced on the 6 Days in Fallujah website that the development team has spoken with, quote, over 100 Marines, soldiers, and Iraqi civilians who were present during the second battle for Fallujah, end quote. Victura, a company former Bungie vice president Pete Temte founded. What's up?
That sentence gave me an aneurysm.
Sorry about that. Will serve as the game's publisher. Temte was previously the CEO of Atomic Games, where he was involved in the original development period for 6 Days in Fallujah. 6 Days in Fallujah is slated to launch in 2021 on PC. The game will also release on consoles, but Highwire Games has yet to announce which platforms.
So, we watched the trailer before this. It visually looks like a 360 PS3 game to us.
Yeah, which kind of makes sense, I guess.
I hope their story is good enough, but I have a bad feeling that when this hits like Steam or whatever, its reviews are going to be bad.
Yeah. It already has the negative connotation from the previous experience. So like it would have to be exceptionally good to shake itself.
It has the negative connotations for that, and just the whole so many people are going to go on the whole war thing to begin with, and at what point do people start, like, okay, so you're listening to the stories, but like, were the stories told well? And and it's just like I have no interest either way. I only have interest from spectators. Like, I just want to watch the car fire happen and see what happens.
Yeah, the other thing about the teaser, trailer, whatever you want to call it, obviously the game is a serious tone and it's trying to be factual, but the teaser was like really over the top, cringy with the like, it was like really forcing the whole like
real people, real event thing. Yeah, it's one of those things where like I feel bad for the Marines, the soldiers, the Iraqi civilians, like everybody that interviewed, and like this is what we want to do, and they were like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and you can see it in a couple of the guys that are like trying to convey the, like, we're telling our story type of thing in the trailer, and every time I see that, I go, you guys don't realize that this is going to sound bad, but the majority of I don't know what their sales numbers like projected are looking at, but the majority of the gaming world doesn't give a shit, bud. And you're too late now for anybody to like go pick it up type of thing.
Yeah. And it looks like a shooter, which is like, you can tell stories that are emotional and in this genre, like This War of Mine, but they don't look like shooters. Like,
yeah, and it's a mix of it looks like a shooter, and I'm hoping it's more, I don't want to say telltale, but it's all story driven thing, like a walkthrough story, because the moment you let it be a shooter, it's not going to give somebody the resonating feeling and story that you want it to give them.
mm-hmm.
The moment they're allowed to just run around in a room and you're like, oh, well, we went really slow and we breached this thing and we had to kill a civilian, they're going to go, yay-haw! And they're going to punch the door open, throw a knife through a window and not give a shit and just move on.
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing to do that unless you put the person directly on rails and basically make it a movie, you can't account for how someone will play your game. I don't know how many times you see it, even with like QA guys, where they go, yeah. Or you watch speedrunners and they go, yes. So this is where you all need to do this. But you see other things and they go, well, we never thought that somebody would just turn left there. Because why would you? And they're like, because I can. And they're like, oh, well, shit. Now they have to go plan, like, either a fun way to not let you go left, or to, if you do go left, allow you to do certain things, yada, yada. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Number 6, U.S.-based publisher TinyBuild has added 3 more studios to its roster, 2 of which it has worked with closely in recent years. The 3 new additions are Were 5 Games, Hungry Couch, and Moon Moose. Known for totally reliable delivery service, good game. Black Skylands, haven't played it. And Cartel Tycoon, I got sucked in during the demo and played for 4 hours. No figures were disclosed for the acquisitions.
Makes sense.
TinyBuild is a friend of the pod. That is to say that we enjoy their things. They have no idea we exist, which is mostly how friends of our show work. We enjoy what they do. They don't know anything about us.
It's a fair trade.
Yeah, it's a fair trade. Matt has a fun story that he's told before from playing speedrun, you were playing speedrunners that day, weren't you? Was you Tyler and Dewey, or was it Dewey and Tyler that we caught up with from them playing speedrunners at the PAX booth, and then like the whole weird, the guy kept backing out or whatever.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And that story's fun.
Yeah.
We've visited the PAX booth a bunch of times. They always have great games. Publisher that has Totally Reliable, Hello Neighbor, Graveyard Keeper, Ramen, Speedrunners, yada yada yada. Just a bunch of fun games that we've always enjoyed. And I talked about Cartel Tycoon when it was demo. The demo was up during Steam Summer Game Festival, maybe, when they were doing the first like post E3, putting up a bunch of demos. And Cartel Tycoon was up there, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. And I played for 4 hours, did everything I could in the demo, and I was like, I can't do any more, but also I can't like stop myself playing. It took me, I had done everything I could, I think, in 2 hours or 2.5 hours in the demo. And then I played for another hour and a half because I couldn't stop myself. And then finally I went, well, I'm just doing the same thing over and over. I can't go any further because this is the end of the demo. This is my limitations, but it was a fun time. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, they always deliver. Tiny build. They deliver. Like totally reliable delivery service.
Yeah, which totally never has blown up helicopters multiple times when we're trying to deliver anything.
Yeah. Has anyone actually played that game? Like, played the point of that game?
No, because every other time we try to play the game, or we haven't played in a while, but anytime we would try to play the game, it was, all right, let's deliver some packages. And then it immediately became, well, this is a sandbox, so let's just go get in vehicles and drive around and do random things.
Yep. I've played it a few times, and I'm not exaggerating. I've never successfully delivered a package. So, there's that. Number 7. Tencent has acquired a minority stake in Dayz developer Bohemia Interactive. The Czech studio is to remain independent, the announcement said, and will retain its existing management team. Tencent's investment aims at supporting Bohemia in bringing its PC and mobile sandbox game creation platform, Hololens, to China. Tencent, doing Tencent things.
Yeah, just doing Tencent things. Let's go right to number 8 then. Niantic has announced a new program to finance, mentor, and support Black game development teams working on location-based AR games. The Black Developers Initiative is... I was going to say, or BDI, but I wanted to make sure you didn't summarize it later. The Black Developers Initiative is a 5-month program that will give selected teams the funding and resources needed to create a playable prototype as well as a pitch deck to help take the project to the next stage. The initiative is open to teams where, I guess these are your requirements, Black members have a direct line to the game's profits. The company or studio is at least 51% Black owned and operated. The team is at least 50% Black, and or Black people are in key leadership roles such as founder, creative director, or producer. Games must have an AR or geolocation aspect, similar to Niantic's own Pokemon Go, Ingress, Harry Potter Go, with the studio seeking, quote, the next innovative real-world game that encourages players to explore the world, get exercise, and connect to one another, end quote. Interesting. I'm curious. I'm always curious what is the next AR game anyway. Because Pokemon Go and those other ones are tied to big IPs. Mm-hmm. Ingress wasn't, but Ingress had, I think, a small player base in comparison to obviously what Pokemon Go has.
Yeah.
So I'm always curious if you can get a good AR game that doesn't have to attach a brand to it, and can it have not 2016 Pokemon Go effects, but can it have a Pokemon Go effect of sorts where you can see somebody and go, oh, are you playing so-and-so? And it's not a brand name.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not yet, at least.
Not yet, but I'm intrigued to see if anything happens.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't think so, but I would love to be proved wrong.
Right. I love the idea of AR games, but I mean a true AR game. Because even Pokemon now, I don't play an AR. I literally have, I don't, cameras turned off. Unless I have to do something for a quest in the game, I don't use the room scale where you can pop a Pokemon into the room and take pictures. It's not me. I don't do that.
I don't think we're there yet for the tech. The tech would have to be so integrated that it would be what everyone wanted Google Glasses to be, essentially.
A mix of Google Glasses and what the thought idea in a lot of people's heads were for Minecraft Earth.
Yeah.
Speaking of AR, what the hell happened to the HoloLens?
Too expensive. Yes, but it's still there. It still exists. They have multiple versions of it.
I still just remember that Minecraft demo and me going, that seems so awesome. What's it, $3,000? Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Well, that's it's still that.
I think it was $3,000 on a dev kit.
Yep. I think if anything, it's gotten more expensive, but there has been, they've kept reiterating.
They ended up being business applications, not consumer applications.
Yep. Classic Microsoft. Make cool shit, you can't have it.
Hey, look at this over here. You really want something like this? What if I told you you can't have it?
Exactly. Number 9, the Pokemon Company has canceled Pokemon World Championships for a second year in a row. The event was originally due to take place in London last August, but was canceled due to the spread of the coronavirus pandemic. Online competitions will continue through several new series, including the Pokemon Players Cup and the Play Pokemon Team Challenge.
I have no idea. I've occasionally I would catch like there would be a Pokemon something happening on Twitch on like a Sunday morning. I would just happen to load up Twitch and see what was on, and you'd be like, one of the featured things would be like Pokemon World Championship, and it might be cards, it might be the actual game. And every time I look at it, I'm like, I do not play Pokemon at this level. I have no idea what's happening.
Same.
But hey, that's the Pokemon update, which we do now apparently. In number 10, Insomniac Games, via the PlayStation blog, has confirmed that June 11th will be the release of Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Also, Activision's blog said Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, will be coming to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch on March 12th. It'll be on PCBattle.net later this year. It is currently listed as a pre-order on Battle.net.
I've resigned to calling them just the Xbox Series. Instead of saying X and S, just going Xbox Series.
I was 50-50 on if that's what you were doing, or if you forgot X and S. So I added X and S, but no, I like what we're doing now. We're just calling it the series.
Yep. Because like if it's coming out on the X, it's coming out on the S.
Right.
So, and vice versa.
Until one does get specific.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that we save the specificity for when that happens.
Yeah.
Big word. Another Square Enix announced. Another Square Enix announced that Kingdom Hearts will be coming to Epic Game Store on March 30th. As per tradition, it is exclusive. Titles include Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 Remix, Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, Kingdom Hearts 2.8, the Final Chapter Prologue, and Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. And you all don't understand why I think Kingdom Hearts is a fucking joke.
I was going to say, by the way, I fucking hate their naming scheme.
Yep. Oh, it was nothing better than leading into Kingdom Hearts 3 and talking to people that were like into Kingdom Hearts, and I was like, yeah, but what's 2.8? What's 2.5? Is there a 2.7? I don't understand what's happening right now. Oh, but what about the side games? These memory things? No,
it's bullshit.
Good thing I don't give a shit about Kingdom Hearts.
Let's see here. Number 11. The Mandalorian's actor, Pedro Pascal, has been cast as Joel in HBO's adaptation of Naughty Dog's The Last of Us, according to The Hollywood Reporter. The publication also revealed that Bella Ramsey has been chosen to play Ellie.
Pedro getting all the deals.
Yes. Not a fan of these choices.
I don't know much about the Bella one. I'm not a huge fan of it at first glance, but I don't know any. I've never watched Game of Thrones or anything to watch her acting.
Mm-hmm.
I like Pedro from knowing that he's a good actor.
Yeah.
But I would have rather seen somebody else be Joel.
Same.
But also, I expect this to blow. Sorry, I do not have good expectations for this at all.
I don't either.
Because I'm still not positive what story you tell, other than
do you
just
know
telling
what,
the game again.
Do you know what the girl looks like?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'm just not.
Yeah, no, I
just don't get it.
I mean, Pedro doesn't look like Joel either, but
it's not even the look thing. Well, for her, it's the looks thing because she looks too mousy to me. But I guess that's kind of like rude.
She also potentially looks too old, but that's where I don't know what story they're telling.
Yeah.
I don't know what timeline we're at.
Well, that's the thing. Is like the relationship of the two.
Yes.
And how they look confuses me.
Yeah.
Because he almost looks too young, but I guess it's easier to make him look older.
He can get disheveled. It's not like he's doing but it could be better meme where he's younger, where he's clearly like young. But yeah, it's interesting. Do we have? No, but I'll bring it up.
You do what you want to do.
Mando's getting new cast members.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Yep, she's out for, I believe the quote was abhorrent tweets.
Yeah.
So, Gina Carano?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's close to the name.
Yeah.
She's out.
I don't know. Did you look at the tweet?
No,
I think there was one specific one that did it.
I didn't go look at anything. I know what her persona was, though, so
Yeah.
I can imagine.
It had some anti-Semitic vibes going to it.
No, that's always
but
good.
not in... She was doing the classic comparison to, like, you know, Nazi Germany,
the old
in
Hitler
certain treatment, and it was like it was a bad comparison.
Yeah, and you're doing it under the branch of Disney, who, if they think it's a monetary problem, will just cut their losses and move on.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was definitely a little cancel culture going on there, but it definitely was like a wouldn't have put that on Twitter, but
yeah. Speaking of castings, because we don't talk about it again, there have been more castings of the Borderlands movie. Jack Black is now casted.
Yep.
Jamie Lee Curtis is now casted. And my expectations for this movie...
Curtis.
Yeah. My expectations for this movie have gone lower than a toilet now.
Really?
Yes, I think this will be an absolute dumpster fire of terrible.
Because of the casting? Or
I so far don't like any of the casting.
too big? You think they went...
Yes.
The names are an issue. They should have went like...
Well, first off, I don't think they ever should have made the movie. We'll start there.
We're getting into a slippery slope here with movies.
We're
because
too far away from where you should have been making a Borderlands movie, and now you're at the weird part of, like, let's have a victory jerk off when you've made 4 Borderlands games, and now you're 3 years removed from the most recent one, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna make a movie, and people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Then so far the casting, I think I don't like any of it. The only one I'm kind of okay with is Jack Black, but even then I think that's terrible you cast it as well, because he was casted as Claptrap. Just make the guy that's Claptrap cast it as Claptrap. It's a voiceover spot.
I never get why they do.
Unless Jack Black is going to walk around in a Claptrap suit, and they go immediate B-movie status with this entire thing where it's just trash from the beginning, then that's funny to me and I can understand it. He is just an anthropomorphized. I'm gonna never get that word right.
I can't help you. I know what word you're trying. I don't know which was the right way.
Human qualities on a solid object. Oh, it's bugging me. Anyway, yeah, I can't get to the second part of the word.
Whatever. Not a word pod.
Yeah, not a word pod. Gamers 2, not a word pod. Not a math pod either. Not a lot of pods. Barely a pod. Just the whole shirt just for us is just the whole shirt for us is just the whole list. And then on the back it just says "We suck," period, and that's it in bold letters. Actually, I really love that idea. That's pretty good. Not a math pod, barely a sports pod. Gaming ? And just
it should be like not a word pod, a shitty sports pod.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of like. It says just the word gaming at one point with a question mark. And
gaming.
I love it. But yeah, I don't know who asked for this movie, so my whole reason didn't think it ever should have been made, and if it did, it should have been made like right after 2 came out, like back in the zeitgeist. And now looking at the casting. And I'm just like, I don't like any of this. And exactly what you were saying. I don't attach big names to this. I would have rather you gone out and got no ones.
I think we're in a bad period because
we're gonna hit the video game movie bubble again, like we did.
We
in early 2000s.
Because video games are mainstream enough now, where all these like. You know, Hollywood and movie production people are like, oh, we can make movies from this shit. But they really don't get it yet.
Yeah. We're going to 100% hit early like Resident Evil overload though. Resident Evil, Angelina Jolie's Tomb Raider, and yada yada. And
but slightly worse because like it's more mainstream, so producers and whatnot are willing to dump a little bit more money into it.
Right. And the bar goes up as years go on because people know what the mistakes they made were years ago as fans and are watching that going, you can't do this. And then producers going, but money, and then doing it anyway.
I say 10 more years. Maybe 5 to 10 years, and
Before
we'll start
we're kind of out of it again.
before we get like decent
Video game movies.
Yeah, video game movies. Or movies that are based on video game IP.
I would like to think 5 years is right, but then I think a lot of the still would have taken a Division mini doc. Division miniseries, I think, would have still been great. The original Division, dealing with Aaron Keener and yada yada. Not Division 2, because Division 2's story went, but what if? And it just took a fucking spiral out of control.
They did something Division live action. I think it was a short, maybe?
It was a short. It wasn't. I want a Witcher 8 to 10 episode run of dealing with agents and Keener.
You know what's interesting?
But I'll never get it.
Ubisoft?
Has
you
a
never
problem.
Get it?
No, I'll never
with
get it.
With the pandemic, I think we see them, they'll be like, oh, we can mine this.
No, you won't. You want to know why you won't?
It's a good idea.
Yes.
Skull and Bones.
It's a good idea. Yeah, exactly. I have the good idea, and they're still trying to drive Skull and Bones home as both a game and a show.
Skull and Bones.
Yeah. Yves Guillemot. I'm right here.
Remember they were making Beyond Good and Evil 2?
Let me consult as a producer on the Division show. Yeah. Trust me. Oh, I remember they're making it because they came out and cried on stage that it existed. That's it.
Wasn't that like 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
Oh, yes. It was, we exist, and you can sign up for the Space Chimp program or whatever the hell that thing was called, and then it's just gone dead.
What is Ubisoft doing?
What are any of these companies doing? Getting ballsy enough to walk out and say, hey, this exists. Also, shut the hell up if you ask me about it for the next 5 years. Elder Scrolls, Starfield.
Wait, there's another one tacked on there now, too.
Those are the only two that I'm...
Oh.
You could count Indiana Jones, but Indiana Jones just happened. And it's by Machine or whatever, not by Bethesda's nightmarish creation engine team. Number 12, tidbits to mention. A ton more acquisitions again this week, but all smaller studios, mobile and or art studios. So cool. There were a bunch more acquisitions, Matt. Appreciate that.
It's a trend.
Board game distributor Asmodee acquired digital platform Board Game Arena. Stardew Valley Update 1.5 makes its way to consoles today. It's been on PC already. Telltale's Tales from the Borderlands is being re-released to digital storefronts on February 17th. Speaking of Borderlands things, actually a solid game if you enjoy Borderlands things. And it's not a movie, so... Valheim has sold 1 million copies. Seems to be the flavor of the month in terms of survival games. People have been really loving it. PS5 is launching in China sometime in Q2 in 2021.
So we're definitely not seeing any.
Yeah. Epic's MetaHuman tool looks insane, in case you're curious about how people's AI faces will look at some point.
Creeps me the fuck out, not gonna lie.
Oh, they can't make somebody look like a real human. Yes, you can.
It's browser-based.
Mm-hmm. So, in case anybody's curious, when someone says, I can make an exact digital clone of you and make it do whatever I want, they're not wrong.
Dude, we're getting into weird... We're getting into, weird spaces with tech.
Yep.
Now, to where, what's the fucking Netflix series that...
Altered Carbon?
No, the other one that's it deals with shit like this. Where it's
Black Mirror?
Yes.
I'll get there eventually. Yeah.
Doing that a lot today with the charades, kind of.
Yeah. Well, that one wasn't even charades. You're just like, and your arm just kind of went like this. And I was like,
Just like, help me out here.
yeah.
All right.
But anyway, you should. It's the trailer's like a minute long. Just go take a look at the Epic's MetaHuman tool. It is insane. It's been another week of quarterly reports. Even Matt is sick of them at this point. Yes. Almost every company did great, as in biggest quarters ever. And semi-related, Ubisoft said Valhalla was their biggest launch in franchise history. You want to know why?
Vikings?
And there's like 3 reasons. Vikings is one.
All platforms?
No.
Okay, 3 reasons.
One's very obvious.
Pandemic?
Yep. It's Pandemic, a long-form RPG, and there's another...
There's an interesting caveat to that statement. They
Right.
call it their biggest launch in franchise history.
Right.
Not the most copies sold.
Right, just the biggest launch.
Yes, most
Yes.
money made.
Yeah.
But do you know which ones had the biggest launch as far as copies sold? Because it's not the one I would have guessed. I probably just fucked y'all up by saying that, but I don't care.
Well, I feel like you would have guessed Black Flag, which would have been wrong. And I would have said it's either 2, Brotherhood, or 3. 2.
3.
Ah! I knew it was one of those ones because it's 100% in the Ezio trilogy because of the
Yeah.
Ezio part of it.
But 3 is like, I feel like not particularly strong.
3 wraps up the Ezio part of it. So you had everybody that was like, I want to see how this ends, and then they're there. But what's the third reason, Matt, that I would attribute this is a me reason for why this one would have sold so well?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
A specific trend in the way they release games, specifically Assassin's Creed.
I don't know, biannual?
They skipped a year.
Well, yeah, it's a better game.
They didn't skip a year between Origins and Odyssey like they fucking said they were going to. And then, you skip a year, make a better game, and you sell gangbusters.
Have they said
I don't
what their
understand why this is so hard for them.
Have they said
to
what their
grasp. No, they haven't said anything yet about this year. And I'll lose my mind.
I'm gonna laugh if they're gonna do like a staggered like
if they're
1-1-2 1-1-2.
Yeah, well, we're gonna drop 2 of them back to back, then we'll take a year off because you all complain about it, and it'll be a bad game. Well, then we'll drop a good one. And it's like, why just do the? Losing my mind. Can you click the link?
Yes. What irritates me about the Assassin's Creed stuff, though, is I like when they take a year off and then they release like good sized DLC. But they kind of did that with Origins, and they did it with Odyssey. This one, they're doing like events and shit.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that nonsense.
Yeah. The other problem, though, with DLC and Assassin's Creed, those 2 words, no, I pass. Thank you. For me, I'm not spending 7,000 hours in Assassin's Creed and then another 2,000 in DLC. I will have spent more than enough time for myself in Assassin's Creed when I'm done with it. I will not want to go back for DLC. It's the same thing I liked the idea in Fallout 4 when all the DLC came out, and I was like, all right, cool. DLC for Nuketown or Nuka-Cola Town or whatever the hell that thing was called, and Far Harbor and stuff like that. And it's like when I went to, I think it's called Far Harbor, was the main one. I went up there and I did all the DLCs, Automaton and what was the other one? But I did all the DLCs for that. But
what are we talking about?
Fallout 4. My problem with
Nuka-Cola.
Yeah. My problem with long form RPGs and then DLC. Usually by the time the DLC comes out, I have now closed the chapter, closed my book on the RPG.
Mm-hmm.
So Assassin's Creed, and DLC, no, I will never touch the DLC.
I get where you're coming from.
I barely touch the DLC. Fallout 4, barely touch the DLC.
I feel like it's more accessible now because of their subscription service. So if you spend say you do Assassin's Creed, it takes you a month to get through the game, you pay for 1 month.
Yep.
I'd be way more willing to come back
for the next month to get the DLC and do it.
Yeah.
I'm not even discussing it from a pay problem. I don't have a problem with it paying. It's the problem of I'm not going to give a shit because I'm going to have wrapped it up. Like, I'm done with it. I've spent so much time, I'm not going back. Like, I have a problem going back to Division 2 right now. I spent so much time in that game, I'm done. It's wrapped up for me. I don't need to go back. But that's a me problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense because you play more games, like way more games.
Yeah.
I generally play like a couple big games, so if the DLC is interesting enough, I'll do it, but it's not like I'm seeking out DLC and
Right, exactly.
All right, what am I looking at here? Humble Choice?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Humble Choice. Limited time. You get all 12 games for February. I can't see all of them, but I can see Outward. Outward, I don't know
You
what
can't see all 12.
No.
What the hell? When I clicked on the link on the computer the other day, I could see all 12.
Probably because you have an account logged in.
Oh, maybe I am cached, but I'm not subscribed, so.
Yeah. I'm not logged in, so.
No, all right, well.
So it won't show me all
Let's see
12.
which ones it calls out then.
Valkyria 4. Valkyria Chronicles 4. The complete edition. Endless Space 2. Train Station. Trying to read small print here. Train Station Retro Station? Retro something here? I don't know. Trine 4. Some other stuff that I can't see. Yeah. Doesn't really call out much on the...
Yeah. I guess it does help to see all the 12 games. I don't remember what the other ones were now, but Humble Choice is up. Yeah. So, there you go. But it has been 7 days, Matt. So what have you been up to?
Oh, what have I been up to? I started playing World of Warships again. So that's been fun.
Uh-oh. I also saw you log into BattleNet, so...
I did. Why did I log into Battle? There was a reason.
There? I was playing and I just saw your name pop up. It's like, Matt has come online, and I went, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah. I was still subscribed to WoW.
Oh, so you never canceled?
I never canceled that. So I had to cancel that.
You should just come back in. Come back. Join the dark side, Matthew.
So much effort. I downloaded...
We have cookies.
I re-downloaded Jade Empire because that's like the one BioWare game I've never played, so might try to actually do that.
Like go dust some stuff off, I guess. Dust off World of Warships. Really dust off Jade Empire.
Yep. Played a little SnowRunners, and
I did see that.
That's about it.
You ever gonna give Mudrunners a shot?
Probably not, because SnowRunners is newer and just better.
Yeah, I was just curious.
And they're adding like the new. When I bought SnowRunners, I bought the one that came with like the season pass.
Complete edition
was $60. It was like a normal game price, so I just bought that one. And the new season coming out is adds in like a lot of gameplay that was in Mudrunners. So as far as like logging, I guess, was big in that game. I don't fucking know.
I feel you.
Probably gonna give Phasmophobia a shot because my significant other is interested.
I'm loving whenever this happens.
So
I almost just want to be at the house and just watch you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just be like, ooh, because I want to put you in VR for it. So
Yeah,
bad.
I'm definitely playing it in VR. She'll probably be playing in the office
Yeah.
on her computer, and then we'll go from there. I think she wants to try to do. She would like to do four player co-op, but
I can make it happen.
if people are interested,
I know
it's there.
Trust me. Like I said,
So-
I can make it happen.
So we'll see about that.
We'll just get a second VR headset and put Amy in it.
She would never. She couldn't even do Half-Life Alyx, and that's like slightly creepy at times.
Yeah. Well, was it from the creepy or was it like the motion? 'Cause I feel like the two are very different for her.
I started her in a level that was like in like a subterranean area,
Oh.
like subway, and it was dark.
Yep.
And there was a head crab, like
Right directly in front of her, kind
yeah.
of.
But it was like there was a wall, like there was a chain link fence, like you were safe.
Yeah.
But she saw it. It was creepy.
It was just nope.
It was like nope, I'm out.
Yep. Fair enough.
She like literally like ripped the headset off and like basically threw it at me.
I just every now and then I'll just think back to playing Half-Life Alyx where I just kept sitting next to the guy with the gun and just throw me another gun. All right, perfect. And skeet shooting plates that I could find and anything that I could throw to shoot.
Oh yeah, it's
And
good.
then I think what did I do with that one guy's body? I think I grabbed like the body you come to right after that that's
Mhm.
blocking a gate. Just like picked him up and carried him for a while and
Oh yeah,
throw him at
it's a
people.
blast. There's tons of stuff you can do.
Looking at your own hand and doing like the whole finger closing thing. Ooh. Just I'm gonna tweak some dials here.
It's
Such a good tech.
yeah, it was. It's unfortunate that that's like. That's it. That's the best we got, and that's probably the best we're gonna get for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
So, what have you been up to?
A lot of the World of Warcraft, as the kids would say.
Raiding.
Raiding indeed. Not raiding as in, Mortal Kombat.
Not
but-
Raiden as in like, RAIDIN, little apostrophe there.
Oh, just a little bang. We're 9 out of 10 heroic, and for a semi-casual guild, we're honestly farther than I thought we would be.
Shots fired.
So, I can't complain. Just been enjoying it, hanging out, doing my thing. Started trying to work on making some money in the game. Just doing little side hustles of make thing, sell thing, yada, yada, yada.
Getting that gold.
Yeah. I'm not hurting for gold, but never hurts to have more.
You never know. You never know when you might need it.
That's true. And then, what was the other thing? Football Manager. Football Manager update. We finished the season. I managed to not get fired. And I managed to finish in the top 4. I had a hell of a second half of the season to have a comeback. And I managed to finish in the top 4, save my job, and we're now into the summer. So,
See how long you can make it last.
it was a hell of a push. We were looking stuff over at the end of the season, and I had to win on the last day. Or I had to win, and I had to have another team tie or lose in order for me to get into 4th. I won my game, I think 5-0. Just the lads knew what was up. They're like,
Steamrolled.
we need to dumpster them. But it wouldn't have mattered if the other team won. If the other team won, everything I do didn't matter because they were going to be 1 point ahead of me in the table. Well, I had some heroes on my side because that team that was winning was up 2-0 at halftime in their game. In the last quarter of the game, so last like 90, 45, 15 minutes, 30.
Did your team go over and
last, like,
switch
20
jerseys and play for them?
The last like 25 minutes of their game, the other team scored 2 goals. It tied it at 2-2. The game finished 2-2, which meant I jumped a point ahead of them in the table to put me in 4th, and they fell down to 5th or 6th. I was just like, yes, yes. Because I'm pretty positive if they win, I lose my job. I'm pretty positive that would.
Did
happened.
you are
Danced on the edge?
working for some ruthless teams who are just looking for every reason to kill you.
There was one of the teams in our save, Tottenham, fired Mourinho, their current head coach, in December, I think. Then hired, I think it was Allegri, and then at the end of the season fired Allegri. So in one season they went through two coaches, and I was like, that would never happen.
Yeah, they're like this game's like really aggressive.
It's better than it was last year because last year they fired just like a bunch of top end coaches got fired, and this is the first time we've hit the off season this year in this save. But even then, those double firings like that would not happen. So it's like I don't know what the game's doing with that team, and then that team is now selling like some of its best players, and I'm like, is that team just gonna tank and just get destroyed now? It's weird.
The owners are just like liquidating it.
Yeah, it's like I don't get it, but yeah, that's really been it for me. Been a fun time.
Yeah, the regulars.
Yeah, the old reliables, as we call them. But yeah, that's about all I got, and then I guess we'll see you guys in 7 days. Maybe there'll be more non-factual news.
Yeah, we got like a boring news cycles. Just that time of the year.
Yep. We're kind of in the lull. Don't worry. MLB The Show's on the way. And in 2 months, guess what Nate's going to be talking about? Because it turns out that Friday that pre-orders come out, I'm not working.
I feel like that happens every year.
Listen, all right? I'm just lucky. What can I say? Hell, I don't work Monday. Holidays. Whew. Enjoy your 3-day weekend, people. See ya.